So here we are. She's moved on. Now, we're not together, but it seems that he's starting to take things a little bit more serious, I guess, but not so much, but he can see that she's not going to be there. So he wants to pick up the pieces with me and make something happen, because even though he's back, I'm still allowing him to do exactly what I allow him to do. I don't care nothing about it until it started spilling over into my livelihood, as I said. But as it started spilling over before she walked out of his life, well, me and her, we had a chance to talk, and she told me a lot about, it helped a lot. The drug usage and, him cheating and lying to her, like the car that I'm allowing him to use back and forth. Well, see, I already knew where I was picking him up from to take him to work. So the distance to where he was having me to pick him up from at that store, we needed to go find our car because I was late for work. He wasn't there to take me to work. So now I got my mom involved. But she loved this. She loves drama. She loves the drama. But she can present herself well in these situations. She did well this day. She was there for me this day. Because she came and got me and took me to Fort Worth, where my car was. I knew the area, that store. Spirit led me to the back of that residential area. That store is here, and it's a residential area back there. The first street, I saw my car. I saw my car. I went, looked in it, and it was a purse on the passenger seat floorboard. I went and knocked on the door. A girl peeked her head out. And I asked, "Is Cedric here?" I'm going to cut that out because I don't want to put no names in it. But y'all know who he is. If you know, you know. But, you see, I'm going to cut that out. We got to cut him out. But he know who he is. Y'all, I've only been married once. But I asked. And she said, "No. But if he's not, then where is he?" And then she came out. She wanted to talk to me. She wanted to talk to me. So we talked, and I knew that I was talking to a young girl because she was providing me all this information. And she even said the first thing that gave me confirmation as to, yeah, see, that's how I know you lying. That wasn't his baby. She said, "Did he tell you I was pregnant?" And that I lied. Yeah. So you just need to know from me if you convinced him enough. Y'all trying to fool the wrong one. But that's in the short little conversation that we had. She told me a lot. And here he comes. Here he comes. Out. Not saying nothing. He liked this type of thing. This is really what he wants. If he could be in a polygamous relationship, this is what he would want. So us meeting each other, he walked out like it was nothing. And he drove my car back home with me in it. And the girlfriend, she wasn't going, and she got in the car with my mama. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. And that was the last of that, because enough was enough. And other times, I've had to chase him down. I've had my friends to come and take me to look for my car, having to call 911 and report my car stolen, because it started getting to the point to where he started really taking advantage. He needed transportation. It was like my car was becoming his. He was calling me to see if I needed to do anything, and I was allowing it in my car, to where he got so comfortable to where I don't do nothing, so she ain't gonna need, because she ain't call. And it ain't like I could just call and get in touch with him anytime that I could. But I could always get in touch with the exes for some reason. And they could always get in touch with me. Ain't that something? Because that's how he was slipping up. I became the main chick. And I had to tell who he think is his main girl. I had to let her know, honey, this is home. Those are the type of conversations that I was having. I wasn't arguing and fighting with nobody, even though they done brought that drama to my house. Her coming back, we down, he's moving his stuff out. Instead of being a man and saying that he just gonna go back home over there to where he think is home, he got to start an argument. So he thought he was gonna lie to me and sneak out, move on out, because we was in a space to where he was coming, and that's where he was really laying his head down. Like that. Not long, because like I said, it's never very long. I'm talking about not no month or nothing like that. But if it's over some days, and it was like that at times, for oftentimes days. No, he'll be coming like that, but if he come, if he don't, he don't. But it was looking like that. Even coming over to go in the bathroom to break down his weed and stuff, or whatever he was selling. Well, he did have the courtesy to go in the bathroom and lock the door and do it there, because my kids are in the next room. And I never had kids to where my kids never was running around all over the house. I needed peace at all times, and they had to stay in their rooms, and everything was provided to them. Because the minute that you allow kids out, they're running around everywhere. And if we stayed in a space, like sometimes it had to be over people's heads, I didn't need those complaints. I was trying to avoid those complaints. I couldn't always do it, because you got all those kids running around in a one bedroom in the den area like that. It was either that or a 2-bedroom house, mostly with the duplex, never a 2-bedroom apartment. When I needed a 2-bedroom, I started looking for duplexes and houses and stuff. But in apartments, it was a 1-bedroom, but then you had this den area that I made mines. There was just enough space, honey. And it was still good enough to my liking and comfortable. But I never allowed they play in their room. The living room is not for them unless they're sitting and watching TV. And yeah, they came out, watched TV, but when it, because see, that's when we was coming into that big old hefty, the big screen. So we had one of those. I always kept my kids, you know, whatever it is that I want to enjoy, they're going to enjoy it too. So if it was something on TV, y'all want to watch, something like that, I give them all up. Because if they came out into my space, it was like them being in my room, because my area was attached to the living room and it didn't have a door. So it didn't happen very often. It didn't, but we did come out and commune together every now and then like that. I didn't spend a whole lot of time, like I said, it wasn't a whole lot of affection and loving and all that. I was just providing. I was just a provider. Y'all just go on in there and play. You got your TV in there. You get whatever. Y'all go on in there. And the kids were well disciplined. They know I didn't like noise and all that kind of stuff. You can hear, yeah, they playing and talking amongst each other. But it was never them, you know, no crying. And my kids were not crybabies. The oldest one was. The oldest one. The problem child. The oldest one. And that's why I feel like to this day, looking back and reminiscing, something, she's mentally unstable, like for real. And that's what we tend to attract as well, because it shows in this individual. She's, you know, it's spilling over so bad, you know, she now thinks she doing something. Because I happen to come, leaving work early, worried about what's going on because I'm not feeling right. So I leave, come home, he's in the midst of getting his stuff, and he done brought all these people to, why do you have to bring them? So now they know where I stay. She insists on coming along, not, you know, she had to come, but she brought people with her. Like if they was there to beat me up or something, or to intimidate me. I went, you know, because I'm talking to him like, you know, you didn't have to bring them to my house. You could have just left. I mean, he not even really saying nothing. When I pull up with my child in tow from picking her up from the daycare, the youngest one, his girlfriend is right there at the end of the stairs, us looking alike, and he know it, light and dark, because when I told him that, see, I've been speaking truth in people's thoughts and not knowing that that's what, you know, but me and this girl were favoring. I'm like, when I saw her picture, I'm like, we favor. She just dark skinned. And when I mentioned that to him, you should have seen how quick he turned and looked at me, and that look, cause those are his thoughts. He had a light in a day, a night in a day. I mean, a night in a day. That's what it was for him. And our names, honey, the similarities. I'll let you go figure it out for yourself. Figure it out for yourself. Just remove the R from mine if, you know, you're trying to figure it out. So he in this space to where he even trying to figure it out, and for me to be speaking and just like, I love my music. And I guess I've been in sync, because he asked me one time, as if I'm playing my music to say something to him, honey, if it's speaking to you, then let it speak. Because he asked me, why do I always play this type of music? I had to tell, because I like it. But I knew why he was asking, because the music that I was listening to, R&B, nothing but, it was speaking to him. Silk. Stuff like that. cheating vibes. See, that's what he getting. You know, it's as if it's speaking to him. He don't like it, but he can't change my music. But you can tell that it bothered him because that's the spirit getting to you, brother. And you don't like it, and they doing it using the music. They know what you up to. And the stuff that I'm not saying, they saying it for me. And you done picked up well on it. He's asked me that a couple of times. As he sits over there and wipes his nose in my passenger seat. So, moving right along, you know, I'm trying to get to the end of this thing. And she say, no more dick for you tonight. No, I take that back. She say, well, you won't be getting no dick tonight. His girlfriend. And I look, I'm like, okay, and? But he know where home is. She didn't get that. What you talking about? He live with me. See, she young. He live with me. But where he keep running back to? And she already knew walking out that door, baby. When they see me, honey, they already know. I ain't gonna be able to beat this one. I'm not gonna be able to, no. He not, and let me just put it to you like this, because he confirmed this for me. She told him, you're not gonna leave her alone. His own girlfriend told him, which she was right. He don't want to leave me alone to this day, and I haven't seen him in 4 years. But she was right. So it was in her best interest to move forward. While I stayed delayed, that's not her fault, but she got it before I did. She moved on. And going back and forth and seeing now that she's got a clear picture, she's been in my home, tried to get it. He wouldn't, he let her see on the inside. He's telling me all this. And now she probably was in my home. He's allowed her to steal things out of my car. I was a lover of collecting CDs. She stole some of my CDs. He allowed it. Because now it's like, well, if she know about me and this is what we fixing to do, well, I guess this is we man. Material things don't never matter. Not to me. But that was the beginning of this that's going on until she decided to walk away, because I wasn't going nowhere. Because I didn't care. But it was just particular things that I no longer allowed him to do. And I continued to move forward. You can't use my car. Well, he got established to where he no longer needed to use my car and stuff like that, but he knew. But still, I was allowing him to use my home as a rotating door, like a truck stop. And when I told him that about the truck stop, you know, you just come here to just wash up and go. You know, that was funny to him, because he know that's exactly what it is. I stayed in the perfect location, not too far from where me and him was working together, where I met him. So for him to come, you know, do whatever he doing on that side and then stop at my place and wash up and then go, you know, it was perfect. Because he can go hang out, then come before work to my spot, wash up before work, go to work, come to my spot, wash up before he go. Like that. It was perfect. A triangle. Just like that. And it was fine and dandy. until his clothes started staying too long. And then he brought a weapon into my home and tried to hide it from me in my closet. He hid it well, very well. But when I found it, I called him immediately and told him, he got to come get that up out of him. You got to come get that on up out of him. And he did. He did. And it's a good thing that my kids know not to go in my room at all. And I wasn't even working. You know, I was working, but I was a caterer. So I was always at home then. But I don't know when he slipped that in, but he did. He did. And it wasn't no small piece. It wasn't no, you got to get that up out of here, honey. So him not really telling me, you know, who he really is, little stuff like that start to show. I mean, the tattoos and the prison tats and all that. You know, I'm no dummy. And then he's already told me that he's been to prison. But I'm still not judging nobody because of, you know, their past. It's past that, way past that, years going by. This on and off again situation here. Because it's not a real relationship. It's not a committed relationship. It's not. No commitments have been made. But, I mean, he's respecting me in this, you know, in whatever we got going on. Because I don't care. So it's really no drama there. I'm the one that I'm starting to bring the drama, really, because you got your clothes here now. Like his clothes went from being in the empty dining room space, his trash bags and stuff, by 4 of them. And they were just needing to be there for a short moment, to where they was being there too long. And I moved them to my closet. And that's why I don't even understand how he even slipped. Well, you know, he did have a key. So if we wasn't there, he could have did it while we wasn't there. Because he even had a key to my apartment. To come and go as he pleased. And I didn't care about what he was doing over there. I didn't. But I'm starting to see who he truly is. Not in no bad way, because if I did, I wouldn't have married him. He's a gangster. Guns and stuff. You know, the cheating, out all night at the clubs, running around, still doing the same thing, like living 2 different lives. That still hunted individual that I asked his daddy about. Clubbing all night, assistant supervisor by day. Or stalking somebody, something. Doing something. So here it is. He finally come get his stuff. And he shows up in this car. Beautiful car. I want to say it was a Lincoln, but it was an older model. You can tell that these are one of these cars, like it was a show car, guys. It was a show car. This is a car that they take to shows. This is not a car to be, you don't see this type of car being driven around like this. Not like this. And I've never seen a car like this ever again in life. It was an older style car. It was all white from the inside out. He came to pick his things up in that car. I inquired. I ain't heard nothing about him coming to get his clothes, because I told him, if you don't come get your stuff, because now I'm not seeing him at all. Okay, come get your stuff. Just come get your stuff. He finally, being nosy, he finally came and got it in that car. And I want to know, who car is that? And we talk like that because we not, he's a blabbermouth, so he needs to feel, he's a show off too. And he wanted me to ask. And all he said is, I'm playing Russian roulette right now. I'm playing Russian roulette. I know what Russian roulette is. But then to get me pondering on that, guys. And then, not only that, I don't know how it happened, because I never had access to his phone. Never. I don't even see a time to where I could gain access to his phone. But for some reason, all of the women could seem to gain access to me, because I ended up finding out even more of who that car belongs to. A Spanish girl just had a baby, a 3-month-old baby, as a matter of fact, when I talked to her. That was her husband's car that was gone away off to the military. And she was allowing him to drive her husband's car. Feeding him her husband's income. That man said, I'm doing something. I'm trying not, the Russian, I can't remember detail. Sticking out the most for me is when he said, I'm playing Russian roulette. We know what that means. And it's surrounding this vehicle. You're driving around in another man's car. Well, that's when God had enough. Because after he told me that, guys, and it was a little bit more conversation there. Of course, he's not going to tell me that he's messing with another woman. I have to go and figure all that out myself in the spirit. Of course, they are going to lead me there, which they did. But I had to, for that moment, because a lot of our conversations would happen in the bathroom while he was getting ready to go. So I would just hang around in there while he was, if he was showering, shaving, whatever, except for the toilet part. We're not doing that ever for nobody. Love ain't that good. I don't want your particles up my nose. But that's where a lot of our conversations were had. And I was just getting to the point to where, protect his soul. In my right there, after knowing this, he's gone now. We've had that conversation. But I stopped, I believe, in that same day. And I had to pray for him, for God to slow him down. I prayed for him to slow him down. Slow him down, Lord. I did. That's all I kept saying, because I could see him moving. Here it is. He got a good job. He fresh out of prison, remember? He's an assistant supervisor. And now I'm starting to see reckless behavior Not that it's for me to change. I can't do anything about that. That's not my life. And this is how I always, if you're not going to do right by me, which he did right by me while he was in the presence of me, but you're no longer here. You're taking up space. Come get your stuff. But at the same time, I still have feelings for him. I can't make him be there with me. I don't want to be to where we never argue. And that's how he became torn, because I was giving him a life to where we didn't argue. It was always me, but he knew it was petty because I would just leave him giggling and laughing. Like, running him play for hitting, like as if I'm really, I know what you're doing, stuff like that. You over there like, but I really couldn't be mad because I've been knowing. So it'd be like play for his, like I'll take off running, or I'll play fight with him. And really, yeah, I do feel some type of way, but I can't get too mad. He'll let me, punch on him a little bit while he giggle, and really he know what I'm doing. I'm actually using him as a boxing, cause he's let me, he want me to get my exercise in, to be honest with you. And it's funny to him. This man is 6 feet tall, and he up here, and I'm, using his arms as like sparring, like he know. And then when I noticed that he know, he allowing it, then it just it was like that. It was playful like that. It started off like that. Him coming in from work, if he needed to just relax a little bit, he'll lay out on the couch, leg kicked up. I come out, and here he is, kicked up like that, he always greet, he greets. He wasn't disrespect. I married him for a reason. But then I'm like, oh, what? I would just start stuff but it wasn't to lead to no major arguments, because I knew he was going to be getting ready to go in a little bit. But just to get my little fun time. It didn't even have to be no sexual encounters either. He ain't got time for that. So if it wasn't conversation, you resting up some so you can get ready to go. I kept him giggling and laughing because he knew that's what it was. He started laughing when he heard the truth. I'll go over there, might start punching on him a little bit here and there, not allowing him to rest. He more laughing than anything, because he ain't finna be able to rest to where he ain't got no choice but to get up. He might as well go and get ready. Oh, let me go and get up and get ready. Like that. Really like that. I would mess with him like that. It was fun to me. And I'm spoiled. And he allowed me to kind of be bratty, I guess. But not to where it was an argue. I got to nag a little bit, but I wasn't nagging about anything. It was like almost, like I just said, you know what? I'm tired of you coming up in here using me for like a truck like that, but I allowed him to do it. But that was our conversation. We had regular conversations, stuff like that. But I was doing my own thing too. And it's been a couple of times I never allowed him to catch me, because I don't know what it would have been. Because he think he got somebody up over here that's faithful and ain't doing nothing. You's a lie. I met me somebody else. I sure did. They just weren't always in and out, but they was there, honey, when he wasn't. When I felt like companionship, and I met him at a convenience store. He actually came and helped me move for free. Didn't ask for nothing. Wasn't even looking for nothing. Wasn't looking for nothing, but he slipped on in too, because it started out great. He brought his movie projector over. We was watching movies all the time. He didn't linger. He didn't linger. That's the thing. But then the conversation gets weird. Just in the conversation, that's where I have to break it off, and I don't want to talk about that because that's irrelevant to any of this, because that was only a short while too. That didn't last too long, because it's always when I feel like you wanting to use me for more, I can't allow it because I can't afford it. I can't afford to, not like that. You seem great and all, but not like that. I can't be there for you like that. And when I sense that they're wanting more that I can't offer, that's when I have to step back, because I'm not fixing to put myself out for no man, which I see that I've done a lot of that. Because really my head is wrapped around one individual anyway. So that person could never be serious. And if he was serious, I couldn't even see it. It's just the approach. It's too early to be asking, and especially a man asking a woman to do things like, and then feel some type of way when they explain to you, well, no, I'm not comfortable. And I'm not talking about sexually. I'm talking about in ways to where, like, I can't even remember, but we never got into no argument, but I just kind of fell back after I see that when it seems like he got his own, he don't seem to be doing too well. And I don't need that baggage. He had baggage that I had to withdraw from. I was beginning to find out a little bit more about him the more that I talked to him. So we just went our own separate ways. We didn't, fall out about anything. We just stopped calling each other. Lost each other's number, I guess. He wasn't getting what he wanted, and I wasn't trying to provide it. So he saw no need for me, and I get the hint. You ain't calling me. I get it. I'm glad that you don't, so I don't have to avoid your call. Like that. Because this one is still in and out anyway. And never know when he's going to come around. And thankfully, he never came around when that particular individual was here. Now, my kids never met him at all. He used to come over, and that's how I used to set it up. I just didn't have kids, my kids around men. If they came over, they had to come over in the wee hours when my kids was asleep. If they came over, you ask them, well, she got kids, where were they? Well, they weren't there when I was there. They was asleep. Always sleep. My kids ain't never up, honey. So if I was somewhere and enjoying myself, as a woman should, in her prime, they didn't know nothing about it. Nothing about it. They didn't have to ever come knocking on no doors to me and another man in the bed until I got married. Like that. Never. So here it is. I guess I placed myself in this stuck space because he's moved on. She's the new victim. She chose to be the new victim. He's driving around in her husband's car, and they're kicking it strong. I had my conversations with her because for some reason she got my number out of his phone. I never been the type. I never went through his. I never remember getting a hold of his phone. I do, but I never attempted to call any numbers out of it. Any numbers. This man has done a lot. Locked me out of my own car. He's in the car. Slept in my car. Locked me out. Couldn't get in. He wouldn't get in my house. So he went and slept in my car. And wouldn't open the door. He's put me through some things that I allowed him to put me through. A lot. Did me wrong. It's too many to really even remember or give y'all accounts of. But did me wrong. Here it is. I've been the one. When he go to jail, it's me that he calls to want him to bond him out. I remember he wanted me to bond him out. And he wanted me to write the check for it. He said he would pay me back. I need my money back. I told him, because he wrote me a check out. I took that check and I cashed it. He dared me. He didn't want me to go get my money back. He told me not to cash that check. I went and cashed that check. It was just for $25. I want my money back. And I don't know what it was for, but the transaction happened. And it's been many a times that I have stepped in to bond him out of jail. At least once that I know of, one. But I've seen him go to jail many times. No, I take that back. It's been more than once. Twice. And he knows that I'm there. He's setting it up like, oh, she gonna be here. So he starts taking advantage even more. I even think that this man has slipped me something in my weed before. Because I know that he has weed and that's what he's doing. Bring me some. He did. But now he's trying to gain control of me because I guess the ways that he's going, it's not working for him. So he wants me to become, I guess, maybe an addict. And I'm just not getting that. And like recently, for the simple fact, the energies that present themselves here and again, they're reoccurring, guys. They're reoccurring. All the talk about the poisoning and all that, you know, people putting stuff in your food. I've been there before, and he did it. And he didn't poison me. He drugged me with something that he thought would cause me to become addicted to. Look, don't want me to talk. Because I was only smoking weed, and I wasn't even really smoking weed like that. Puffing it at nighttime before I went to bed. That was it. Not even throughout the day. None of that. And he brought me some. And it was something in that, guys, because I ended up having to take myself to the hospital. Because my heart started racing. Beating real fast. I didn't know what was going on. It was like I wanted to, you know, hallucinate, but not really, because I was trying to keep my focus as to what's going on here. I actually took myself to the hospital and ended up leaving because it was taking too long for them to come see me. They came, put me in a room and stuff, but to come back in there, it took too long. Spirit said, go on and go. It was just drugs. It was drugs. It wasn't just weed. It was something that he slipped in there. I know it. Because he don't care about me enough. He need for me to be something else to him. And if he could get me strung out, which I really do, he's already told me to quit my job before, which I refuse to. He's a master manipulator. It should be easy. Easier for him. But the D ain't doing it. Not saying that it ain't doing it, but where he trying to go with it, it ain't working like he wanted to work. It is not working. Our first encounter, he still refused to believe. He's trying to work his magic on me so bad, because knowing how he liked to stay high and stuff, he refused to believe that while he was over there with her, yeah, you came and baby, we broke the bed down. Do you hear me? That was the first time that you went down, honey. He refused to believe that that's what he did, because he wanted her to be the only one that he was ever going down on. No, sorry. Sorry, because while you trying to get to me, it's me really getting to you. And when I say that this happened in the early stages, I'm talking about the first year. Like that. And he refused to believe that he was, because that was only for somebody else, honey. He'll tell you in a minute, I don't do that just for the person that I'm with. And he would get mad when I told him, well, you did it to me. He would get mad. No, I didn't know. Yes, you did. Because now that you got a taste, it's really over. You trying to sit up here and use your magic and everything that y'all family got going on me? Well, let me continue on. So here it is. I'm hooked. Finally hooked. In and out still though. But I'm still there. Letting him, come and go. He over there doing his thing. We part again for some years. Separate again for some years. I move on. Can't do it. He's still over there chasing her down. Now he done got another individual involved. Another female. Another one with mental illness. He knows how to choose them. And when I say that this girl, I don't know what she is today, but I got a clear vision. I got to see it for myself. The brainwashing in this individual person. Because now that my, doppelganger is no longer in the picture, she's decided to move on because given this situation now, I prayed for God to slow him down, and he's still out there riding around with some other woman in her husband's car. They're getting caught all on camera, all on surveillance, because he's being shot down like a dog in the street, and it's all caught on tape. All over Channel 4 News. Not that Channel 4 News, but the real Channel 4 News. It's on the news. My former best friend, she called and told me. They gonna make sure I know. Somebody gotta tell me. No, oh girl, I'm sorry. I'm just on. But this is how my conversation went with her, because she ain't never got too much to say. She's a woman of few words. Okay? The most that you're gonna hear from her is a bunch of curse words. But so I'm like, I knew, and I was like this, but I didn't know who I was, guys. I have to keep saying that. But I'm like, oh my gosh, because I just had a dream the night before. So she's telling me what's going on. She just seen it on the news because she's seen him and his new girlfriend that I've had the conversation with. She's seen it on the news, the surveillance. So now how they, air everything every hour. I'm up on the phone with her waiting to see it for myself. Waiting to actually even record it. I used to have it recorded to where it didn't matter to me no more. I didn't even want to see it because it's stuck up here. It's stuck up here. And him, having to go through it, and me knowing that it's right here, it makes my day every time, because just how you dragged me through the mud, guess who ended up having to drag themselves out of the way of gunfire while everybody just stepping, people walking out the store, not asking him if he need any help or anything, just walking over him. He's been paralyzed, shot down right there, paralyzed in the convenience store. No, not in the convenience store, right in front of the door of the convenience store. And he can only walk far enough to get to the door to have to drag himself, running actually, drag himself back into the inside. And it was sad to see, but God makes no mistakes. You was doing fine, but you cannot and you will not. And yet he didn't get it, guys. He still did not get it. He's been shot down. I manifested that. I didn't, asking for God to slow him down. I didn't know it was going to come that way, but that's what you get. And I said it. And somebody had to help me to understand how powerful I truly am, because I was having a conversation, and it dawned on me in that moment that it's a possibility that I caused that. I did. I prayed for him. He still has his life. And if God saw fit for him to be paralyzed in the process so he could no longer, it makes sense to me. Because he was a banshee running rampant, literally. 30-something years old, still gangbanging, fighting in the streets. Too old. No longer in his 20s. He's 30-something now. He's in his 30s. The baby is in school now. She's in kindergarten. I'm talking about, he got out because he was fresh out. God set him up nice for him to not want that. Because everything that he's done in his life is not his fault, because of his childhood, his upbringing, what he's experienced. And that's his story to tell, not mine. But given what I know, it's horrible. He didn't have his parents in his life, not on no regular basis. He was raised by his grandmother that was raising kids of her own. And she was left to take on the responsibility of him and his other siblings because his mom passed away. And he was left at a tender age of 12 to look after his younger siblings, y'all. He was the oldest. That could be hard on anybody. And then the grandmother looking at it like, oh, okay, well, you got it. You 12. I got to tend to these babies, though. So guess who ended up raising him? The streets. It makes perfectly good sense to me. That's why I was okay with it. Even his story of why he went, I looked it up. Okay, so he was dating somebody a couple of years younger. I didn't see nothing wrong with that. But if somebody say stop and stay away, then you should do that. But guys, not only was he getting himself caught all the way back up, I was being drawn into it. I was being drawn into it. I met a lot of his family. All, the immediate ones anyway, sisters and brothers, And when he did finally, come to terms with himself, because after that downfall and him being paralyzed from the waist down, I guess he just can't walk. I'm just gonna say that. People started to walk away from him, like I said, because they want a family. He can't give them that. They know for sure. They think he can't give them that. At least that's what they think. I don't know. He ain't been able to give them one, so she want a family. And she know, as much as she's been trying, she didn't get it from him. She got it from the other him. So she know that he can't produce no babies. She know that. And he let it be known to me that she told him she want a family. And seeing me like this, she know I can't give her no family. That's what he said, but she know that you ain't never been able to give her no family. So now they got him set up real nice because, they have victim assistance and all that kind of stuff. So he got his own. God done set him up again. He got his own house, his own car. He's independent again. He's getting benefits and all that. And for some reason, I don't know this just yet, but I was feeling the need and the urge after so many years to reach out to him. The urge was so strong because I couldn't contact him. I didn't have his number. He didn't have mine. But after 3 years, I mailed a letter to his dad's house. And he got it. He got it. And we picked back up from there. And it was the same thing, different days and story. But, individual anyway, same story. But I was continuing on through that same cycle of him and his women. Well, at least one that, was around a lot. If it wasn't me, then it was her, like that. The one that he toggled. I had to, share with her. Until it became just too much. I don't want to keep doing this. And I was already just doing a lot of stuff, like the grass became so stronghold. I was doing stuff like I started drinking. He want me to believe that I started him to drinking. I started drinking with him. Taka vodka. Cheap liquor. That's how I started drinking cheap wine in the first place, dealing with a cheap drinking individual, until I decided to venture off and try some new things that ain't so cheap. But given how I became an alcoholic, it had to be cheap. Cheap wines. Not no vodka. Wines. We was keeping it simple. Bottles of wine, the 3 for $10, like that. Sometimes 4 Locos. I was doing Four Locos too before. I just didn't, I can't stand the feeling of those. It's like an energy drink and a something, alcohol together, and that, I don't like that feeling, but I worked on them for a while until that feeling just became too much for me. I guess I don't know if it's the coming down off of it, but it's like a pain. I don't like that. So I left them alone. We tried 211. Now we're medicating our pain. Trying to get by, because now back dealing with him, talking to him on the phone, finally get over there to see him, not expecting too much, seeing how things are going and how we came back together. Yep, I was back in, but another female was there too, and I was willing to toggle until I'm like, I can't do this. I don't want to do it no more. Yep, we stayed. It wasn't even a minute away walking distance to where he stayed, because I moved to where he was. After this, when we got back together, we went together. There was no commitment. But I moved to his neighborhood, pretty much the same street, if you ask me. But if I stepped out far enough, I could probably see his house like that. But not that I was ever looking. Sometimes I couldn't help to see, but it just became an emotional upset, a roller coaster ride. Seeing, here it is. We had fun together. We always did. Always. Until he needed a reason to move on to the next individual. He got to start arguments just so I can stay away for a minute. But in the process, he wouldn't leave me alone. He would call and hang up, want me to call him back to get the other individual upset, like that. And when I caught on to what he was doing, I wouldn't do it no more. Now he got the other individual, calling me. So what? I don't care what y'all got going on. You enjoy him when he with you, and I enjoy him when he with me. They wasting their time with the wrong ones and don't even realize that. And when I'm right there in their face, they got a loss for words. They can't believe that I got to go up against this. You most absolutely do. And a couple of times I've had to go up against this new individual in this new cycle. Because the other one, in her young, tender age, got to move away from this cycle and go on and start your family. And she did. It didn't take for me to tell her. She learned before I did. She already knew what was going on. It went up to her to tell me. I know she done said it a couple of times. Oh, she'll see if she ain't already seeing. And I most certainly did. Because I knew about her. I expected it to come back eventually, I guess. In what ways, I don't know, but keep it over there. If we can keep it over there, but I wasn't, it wasn't staying over there, and I was allowing it to spill. So now we stay in the same neighborhood, back and forth. I gotta wait my turn. Just a lot went on there, a lot of back and forth. But when he went to jail, it was always me that he called. And we're gonna leave it right there and come back with part 3. It's gonna be a lot of parts to this one.